Alright, I'm gonna wait till we get some people. Yeah.
We might wait a second. We might be waiting a second.
How many people do you want me to wait till? You get into?
Yeah.
With our max being 5.
Walton, post that we're live, maybe.
Yeah.
What?
Post that
Post
we're
that we're
live. I'm
live.
waiting till at least 2 people get in here to start this. Rip this baby off. It's
Make a post on the page.
Oh, we got one. Hey, Jason.
We're gonna have to cut that out.
Our viewer, can you please type in the chat so I can see it? I want to see if it pops up.
Might be 8 free. I think one was 8 free.
So we can see if it works.
Please type in the chat so I know you can hear me. Okay, go Gobblers. Where's Brock?
Alright, here we go.
All right. Welcome back to this edition of TBTV, Turkey Bowl TV. Today we have a press conference. First, let me introduce the captain of the Fighting Turks, Cole Walton, everyone. Please clap it up. How you doing today, Cole?
Got a business-like attitude. I'm ready to go.
And now our next team captain, commissioner, founder of the Turkey Bowl, captain of the Mayflowers, Tad Griffin, everyone. Please clap it up.
Shows my opponent's respect.
Well, fellas, how's it going?
Gonna be doing a lot better. Black Friday.
I agree with this statement.
How's the draft strategy going right now? Any early plans you have going on? I understand you don't want to say too much.
I don't want our strategy to be compromised here, but we're doing a lot of evaluating. We're really digging into the guys this year. We got 2 new additions. We're working, man.
Yeah, like he said, we're obviously evaluating the talent. I know the past talent. That's why I won last year. I know kind of how it works. I know the game. I created this game, so I know more than my opponent. If you see how he's dressed, it looks like he's going out to the bar. I'm dressed for business. That's what we're about on the Mayflowers, business.
Well, fellas, that's going to bring us to our first question. Speaking along the lines of the draft and how Cole Erskine sadly had to retire due to injury, how does the addition of 2 new players affect your draft strategy?
You know, I think it goes a lot into it because you have a guy that you added as an Aiden, a quality guy, real good guy, and that can affect the draft. And then you have a guy like Brock, and you don't want to get stuck with that. And no disrespect to him, but he will not be on the Mayflowers. And if I can put my money on one thing, he will not be on the team. But it does affect it because does Aiden go 2? Does Cole get Wade and then Aiden falls to 3 or 4? Just saying. But you know, we gotta see. We'll find out.
Clarifying question here, with your talk on Brock Simmons. Would you rather play with 4 players and not have Brock than play with 5 and have Brock Simmons on your team?
Well, it's basically playing with 4 either way. So you know, 4 players or 4 and somebody. You know, I'll keep it nice on this, but yeah, 4.
How about you, Mr. Walton?
Yeah, I think 2 new players adds a new dynamic to the game. I think it's going to add to the strategy of how you want to run your offense, how you want to run your defense, what roles people are going to be in. And to the question with Brock, I think it's whether you value the body you'll have out there, but at the expense of some annoyance, as some would say.
Yeah. It's just going to rile your team up.
It's whatever. Yes, it's whatever your team values.
Would you consider this Brock Simmons? I've never met the guy. Would you consider him to be a locker room cancer of sorts?
Yeah. I think that's to a T. You know, when he's doing his complaining or doing, you know, whatever it seems to be that gets me fired up, it doesn't take much from him. And, you know, I can't be having that in the Turkey Bowl, and I like to use it as passion. As we saw last year when he showed up as a fan, was heckling me, and then I went and hoisted the trophy. So
I understand his points, but I'm also, if he happened to fall in our lap, I'd be confident in our abilities to reshape this player. I don't know if I can say confident. There's always a chance. You can work with the guys, but I mean, you can't completely change them. But you can do your best.
Continue on with this idea of the draft strategy. I'm just concerned with your guys' positional needs. What position do you two see yourself playing in the big game?
Well, I think that's why you should be more confident in my team going into it, because we don't know where he's playing. Now, whether he wants to be a quarterback or a wide receiver, we're playing around it, but we know going in 100% every single year, I will be the quarterback. There is no way that I'm not the quarterback.
So you view Cole's versatility as a hindrance on his ability?
No, it's not versatility. It's helping us out, because there's positions that we want him in, and I won't say it. And there's positions that we don't want him in, and his value is more at some positions, and he would take himself out of that. That's how I see it. I know my value is as a quarterback, not running routes.
Okay, so you think he's more of a Jerome Peppers, not necessarily a Travis Hunter of sorts.
Yeah. He's like Tyree Jackson.
Well, it's better to be a multiple trick pony than a no trick pony over here.
No.
But regardless, I think if you look at our team last year, I think we had 3 guys who could play different positions. And while we didn't come out on top, I think with better adjustments, which we'll learn from, we could have won that game for that exact reason. So I think it's a little ridiculous the way he's downplaying the value of versatility that we had last year. And we're still in the scouting process. We're very early. We've hardly had Turkey Bowl practice, so we have a lot of time to figure out where guys are going to play, how they mesh. It's all part of the draft strategy.
Thank you for that nothing burger, Cole.
Feel free to read on the chat.
Oh,
nuts.
they are. Oh, this great question here. Jackson Mahomes, question mark?
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but
Oh,
his
that's
brothers-
by future draft pick Corbin Turner, by the way. Is that going to affect your draft board?
Well, you know, it seems to me like he's saying I play like Patrick Mahomes. You know, believe it or not, Jackson Mahomes' brother is Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. That's how I intend on playing.
Okay, no surprise. Everyone knows the generational prospect that's sitting on top of the board, Jonah Acebook. However, Jonah has prior commitments and he's nursing a knee injury currently. Does that affect your guys' draft strategy at all?
No. Jonah, and I'll say this, looking straight at the camera, Jonah Acebrook will never not be the number 1 pick in this draft. I don't care if he has one leg. That brother is going to wheel himself out there and play the game of football. He is the number 1 pick. Book it down. I can guarantee you 2 things. Jonah will be the number 1 pick, and Brock will not be on my football team.
Yeah, we know who Jonah is as a player. I think hurt or not, he's the best one out there, but I don't know if he has the love for the Turkey Bowl like the other guys in this draft, and that really moves him. I don't know if I'd even take him 1 overall personally, so just want to throw that out there.
When push comes to shove, are we afraid about Jonah's availability overall in the Turkey Bowl? Like you said, it seems to be that the Turkey Bowl does not matter to Jonah. If he were to sit out, what are the alternatives that we have in play?
Well, that would be a lifetime ban.
Yeah.
That would be a lifetime ban, and that's to all Turkey Bowl players. If you do not show up to the Turkey Bowl, you are banned for life, and I'll probably never talk to you again, nor do I care to talk to you. I think the replacement's probably looking at Noah Thrasher if he gets drafted, because that's the closest we have that's not currently playing.
Fair assumption. Jake Bain or Tucker Erickson would also gladly fill in the day before if we
Yeah,
wanted
but
to.
I'd have Noah. I'd take Noah.
At the end of the day, the Turkey Bowl is about friendship, and if you decide to bail on us, we'll quit being your friend, and we'll probably start a bunch of rumors about you as well.
Yeah.
Have the previous Turkey Bowls changed the way you scout/grade players?
I'll let you go ahead.
Actually, let's give a quick recap on the Turkey Bowl history for any of our first-time viewers. You want to walk us through that, Tab Griffin?
Yeah, so I started the Turkey Bowl. This will be our 3rd year. First year, you know, it wasn't nearly to the level that it is now. That's expected, though, in the first year of growing a program. You know, we had a good game. And then the second year going into it, sent out invites and made it more of a social media thing. And people didn't think it was going to be as good as the first year, and they were proven wrong. If you were at the game last year, participated in the game, saw the pictures, saw the Instagram, overall it was a better game. And players have changed. Last year we only had 4 on the team. This year we have 5. First year we had 5. So that kind of stuff will change. But I'll let Cole go ahead and answer the question. Then
Yeah, I think previous Turkey Bowls have absolutely shaped how we evaluate players. Take, for example, C.J. Wilt.
Yeah.
C.J. Wilt in 2023, he was the equivalent of a UDFA. I mean, this guy was not highly regarded at all. You know, we thought he was too small, you know, didn't have good hands. We didn't really know what he was bringing to the table. And then he laid the hammer on Aiden. And then the next year he comes out and he wins Turkey Bowl. And an immature coach here. But as I was saying, he came out and won the MVP last year, and I think that has really shot him up draft boards. And you can take it the other way. Some guys have gone down. I'm not going to state who, but obviously there's questions of how much you want to be there, how much you're bringing to the team. And it all goes into our strategy.
Well, to piggyback off what he said, CJ is obviously the biggest riser. And, you know, that's the reason I drafted him last year and the year before that, because the man, no matter what, regardless of his play, whether you like him or not, the man plays as hard as he can every single year. Life or death, rain or shine, it does not matter. CJ will be there and he'll be giving it 110%. That's why I'm high on him. But also there is guys that have gone down. There's a lot of guys that have gone down, especially after practice and stuff, and that's kind of why Cole Erskine removed himself, just because of injuries. It was the injuries, he couldn't run, so.
So along this line of C.J. Wilt and Aiden Robinson possibly having sexual relations that Cole Walton just alluded to, how does your team chemistry fit in your draft strategy? Are you looking for players that mesh well together, or are we BPA and we'll figure it out once we get everyone in the building?
I'll take it. I think chemistry is definitely something you can't ignore. So, I mean, we know what we're getting into. Brock Simmons is very likely going to be a turkey. So we need to develop some team bonding here so we can prevent frustration during the game. Because, I mean, even last year, middle of the game, the Pilgrims, they were having some inner conflict, but then they came together and won. So I think it's a very important part of the draft strategy.
Yeah, no, like he said, it's very important. Obviously, we have a lot easier job without Brock on our team, because he will not be on our team. I guarantee it. He will not be on my team. But, you know, we did have a little bit of a tussle last year, but it's all because of the competitive spirit. You know, the Pilgrims last year, we were very competitive. Now rebranded as the Mayflowers. That's one of the things I look for when I'm drafting a team. That's why I'm higher on some guys, even though maybe they aren't the best available, but they want it, you know. So that does matter, and I don't think we'll have any problem. We're all there for one goal. Like pre-draft workouts, which we'll be conducting soon, that's one of the big things, is competitive spirit.
As you prepare for the biggest game of the year, when you look back on how far this tradition has come and everything the players have been through, from the first practice to now, what moment or lesson stands out to you guys that makes you the most proud of the group of guys? Not just as athletes, but as young men growing together. And what do you hope they carry with them long term after the final whistle?
That's a great question. And I think one of the big things now is, like you said, it's a game, it's a friendship thing. But, you know, look how this group has now came together, and we have Shiftology Communications now sponsoring us. Shout out to them. But this ain't something that nobody sponsors just for fun, you know. This is a real deal type of league, and we continue to run this league, and we will continue to run it, you know, with friendship and getting the guys together. But, you know, after the whistle, I hope they carry the competitive spirit. You know, I hope they have fun, but fun is winning.
Yeah, one example I think of is actually retired player Cole Erskine.
Yeah.
2023, this is a guy who would come out there, he kind of just horse around, just, you know, looking to have a good time, but not a serious time. And then I remember one practice last year, he goes out there, he's playing corner, he gets absolutely laid out, and he gets right back up, because that's how much Cole Erskine loved the Turkey Bowl. And that is the impact that Turkey Bowl can have on your life.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, we all know that you guys not only represent your team, but you represent the fandom and the community around your team. What's your message to your guys' fan bases respectfully this year?
Yeah. You know, the fans are the biggest part of what we do. You know, we are almost at 100 followers on the Instagram. You know, that's very good for being in a small town. And not only is it 100 followers, it's 100 dedicated followers, liking every post, commenting. You know, it's tougher in this early stages to get as many likes. So be liking more and be commenting. But once we get to the real deal part of it, right before it's about to happen, it gets pretty serious and our fans are very involved, and we would like to see more fans at the game. Obviously, no women allowed. I will make this announcement. No women are allowed. I don't care. I don't care. If you are women, you are not coming to the game. But dudes, we would love to have you.
Yeah, I want to talk about specifically what was the Gobbler fan base and is now the Fighting Turks fan base. I think
Nobody.
clearly last year, based off our votes that we did, the Pilgrims had a, you know, much more of a respected fan base, and I think that was partially my fault as captain. I think I didn't show a passion or dedication to the levels that the Pilgrims did. But this year, I think it's something that's got to be different, and that starts on draft night. And I think we need to start the hashtag can't stuff us.
All I'm going to say, man, is the Fighting Turks coach has been saying a lot of questionable things. You know, can't stuff us, laid the hammer down on Aiden. If I'm a Turks player, I'm kind of concerned with the locker room, how that looks, and the chemistry of it, because it seems like maybe he wants more than just a football game.
That's why the mock draft expects the Fighting Turks to draft Corbin Turner with their second overall. Breaking news here coming in from the Cole Erskine of the Turkey Bowl Instagram page. Rumor has it Kason Spears, who has been an outstanding quarterback for the past 2 seasons, hopes not to play quarterback this year. How does that affect your guys' opinion on the player?
Well, to me, it lowers his value. I'm not gonna cut it frank. You know, he won MVP the first year as a quarterback, and to want to switch kind of lowers his value. But to me, it doesn't matter because I was never looking for a quarterback. So really, I was always looking at him as a receiver, especially last year when I saw him trying to throw the football. You know, in the rain, he has small hands. He's a small man. And, you know, I think that's better at the receiver position.
Just want to say that's a very disrespectful comment.
No, Tyreek Hill. Look at Tyreek Hill.
To call my former QB a small man.
You made him number 1 half. You put him in a half jersey last year.
This is all true. I just want to make that clear to the audience.
Back, yeah, if we're talking about Kason Spears, I think the past 2 years he's done an incredible job at QB. First year of the Turkey Bowl, he was almost the reason that my team was able to win. But I understand the want for change. I could see the frustration last year when the rain started to come down. That's when the Gobblers really started to struggle. And there's a lot of doubt right now for Kason as a receiver, but we still have a lot of time to grow at that position. Turkey Bowl practice, we'll be evaluating, seeing what we can do. I think there's a lot of room for growth there.
Chat's blowing up right now. Big word.
Please add in questions here in the chat. I'm kind of running dry.
There was like 15 on there.
Yeah, no, they're all just shit.
That's the ones Erskine just sent in on the Turkey Bowl.
Cole Erskine, please send your question.
No,
No, they
he
were
sent
on
it.
it. They were on the Instagram.
Oh yeah, they didn't come on.
Yeah, they did.
Hold on, Commissioner has to,
You are not the commissioner.
or,
Associate commissioner.
There has been
alright, we'll go ahead and,
Just give
oh,
him
do you have them, or do you need them?
Just give him the phone.
has there been any discussions about moving the Turkey Bowl to a tackle football format?
Yeah, well, when you look at some of the guys we have, we already lost Cole Erskine to injury. Some of the guys we have are not athletes necessarily, and we, myself included, I've had 3 knee surgeries. I can't get tackled. I don't have the knees for that. I would be out.
Unless there are sponsors willing to provide helmets, shoulder pads, pants, and cleats, it is likely not in the picture of the Turkey Bowl, to be frank.
Mr. Walton, please don't view this question as disrespectful. But what are the odds of Cole actually using his guy's skills this year?
You want me to go first?
Go ahead, because I have a rebuttal.
We say no disrespect, but there was a lot of time and thought that came into the game plan going into the Turkey Bowl. We knew who Kaysen was as a quarterback, and when the conditions were dry, it was exactly what we expected, exactly what we planned for. Wade Erickson did a wonderful job at receiver, being a safety blanket for Kaysen Spears, constantly being open. We took away Jonah in coverage for as long as we could. But obviously, me as one of our guys, I was ineffective, too much falling, and I don't know, I think personally we fulfilled our roles well that game, we just didn't execute enough at the end.
Yeah, well, that kind of tells you the type of coach he is, that he thought they fulfilled their roles well when they lost the football game. I don't care what I do in my role is to win the football game. And when you look at players that have been drafted for the Gobblers, or look at players that are going to be drafted for the Fighting Turks, they've never been happy. They've never wanted to play on that team. Everybody wants to play on the Pilgrims. Everybody wants to play on the Mayflowers. Nobody wants to play for him. That's why he has no fans. That's why everybody loves us. That's all I gotta say.
So the Turkey Bowl, it is passion, it is fight. Things get a bit chippy out there on the field. Are there any concerns with how Tad's mouth seems to run and run and run like an open faucet that simply won't close?
Yeah, frankly, we already discussed how there was some team turmoil in the middle of the game last year. And I think that stems directly from Tad here. Because, last year it's just ball after ball fluttering through the air, not getting to his receivers the way that the receivers expect. So I can't help but to blame him for them being a little bit angry, because as you see in the NFL with A.J. Brown, receivers get very frustrated when their quarterback doesn't get them the ball properly. So I think not only from him running his mouth to the other team, but with his own teammates, that is a true concern.
Yeah, well, that's part of my game. And you think, you look at what I do on the wiffle ball field, softball field, football field, it's all running my mouth, and that's because it works. And it worked last year. And I did not run my mouth last year. Me and Erskine had a simple disagreement. And he knew he was wrong for dropping the ball, and I got a little too angry at him for dropping the ball. But you know, where my mouth runs and runs like a faucet that won't shut up, the only thing that runs and runs like a faucet that won't shut off is Jonah Acebrook. And he runs and runs to the end zone. And those throws that flutter in the air, they flutter right into my players' hands for touchdowns. So you want to talk all this, it seems you're doing the talking now because my team is reigning champions.
I'm a bit confused by this question. Maybe you guys can clear it up for me. How does the Turkey Bowl going to affect the Capybaras Wiffle Bowl team?
Next question.
Yeah, we'll take the next
question.
Okay. What rookie do you see making the biggest impact this year in the Turkey Bowl? Or is there a rookie that you think could be a surprise player that actually comes through in a big way?
Yeah, the rookie I think will have the biggest impact will probably be Brock. And the reason I say he'll have the biggest impact, because that question did not specify positive or negative. And you know, he will have a negative impact morally, physically, emotionally, all around bad impact. I think a close second's Aiden, but his is on the positive side of the football. So I think Aiden will do well. Surprising, I think a lot of people were surprised by Corbin. I know his game. He doesn't know his game because he was too busy doing whatever and not come to Turkey Bowl practice last year. And I was there. So I saw all the players. I saw them play. Corbin's a fantastic football player. We'd like to have him on our team. We'll see how the draft shakes out. But yeah, Brock.
Yeah, I think Aiden's kind of the obvious answer, but I don't think we should be sleeping on Corbin here. You know, he brings the blue collar mentality to the football field, which I think is a valuable asset, especially in the Turkey Bowl. And we'll definitely be doing some hard evaluating here in the next couple of days.
So, along the lines here with the draft, does a player's conditioning ever concern you guys? We do know that Brock Simmons is up 20 pounds since moving here into college. There's also been some rumblings about other players not being in great shape. How does that affect you guys as coaches, play callers, players?
Yeah, obviously in a football game, conditioning is big, and I know people have been talking about Brock's weight and calling him Porky and whatnot. But yeah, conditioning does play a big impact. I think that's why I value some guys that are conditioned higher than others that are not. I myself, I probably could be in better condition. I'll say that, but I only have to throw the football. I don't have to run. So.
Yeah, I think he shouldn't be saying anything about conditioning personally.
I guarantee I could beat you in a race right now. Do a mile race.
I'll let you know now that we're going to turn this into a track meet, and we are targeting Tag Griffin on the defensive side of the ball. Because, frankly, I don't think he can make it a full 4 quarters if we execute the game plan.
Yeah, they're going to target me. We're going to go at Brock Simmons. If it's me versus Brock in any aspect of football, anything athletic, or anything in life, I'm taking myself. There's not one single thing he can beat me in at anything.
Okay, so since this is a football game, how do the players' mind of football knowledge, C.J. Wilt, Jonah Acebrook, they are Division III football players. Is that something you look for in terms of play design and play calling, to have those guys on your team that understand the game in an inept way?
No. I think that the Turkey Bowl, if I'm going to be honest, I don't think the guys in our pool of players are smart enough to gain any knowledge from the Marietta football players. I think we are playing backyard football, and whoever can do that the best will succeed.
Different sport, as you would say.
Yeah.
To me, if you look at my draft strategies from previous years, the first year I had only football players, only players that had played football in high school. And then the last year, I have 2 college football players on my team. Now, the other captain is telling me, he's sitting here saying to all of your guys' faces that playing college football does not help you. That's what he's telling you. So I want the college football guys to listen to what this man's saying. The disrespect that he's throwing in your face, man. It absolutely matters. These guys practice year-round. They play every single day, and this bum on the couch thinks he's better than them.
I never said I'm better than them, but I think you know, first year of the Turkey Bowl, we had, like I said, CJ lay the hammer on Aiden. And I think that stems from being a real football player, and that is 15 yards on the board.
But it sets the tone of the game. I'll take the 15 yards. I mean, I was ready to run through hell with a squirt gun after that.
I'm just going to go ahead and take this question. No, Caden, there will not be a concession stand, but you can bring snacks. And then one of our last questions to wrap it up here. Last year at the Turkey Bowl, there was I don't want to call it fatal injury, but a brutal injury to Cole Walton here because
I thought we were going somewhere else.
he was out horsing around at the bars the week before the Turkey Bowl. Is that a concern for you? Are you going to keep your head clean before the game this year?
I think if I was a prospect this year, it'd be a very valid concern for my recent injury history. But last year taught me the value of the Turkey Bowl. You know, when you go down with an injury like that and there's a chance you're not playing, that's devastating. You know, I realized that I need to stop, like he said, horsing around, and I really need to just lock in on the Turkey Bowl and make sure that I'm perfectly healthy. So I can promise you that this year.
Yeah, no, like he said, injuries, obviously it's terrible when it has to keep you out of the game, but you know, there's ways injuries happen. Injuries happen at Turkey Bowl practice. Injuries happen, you know, when you're in the backyard practicing. Injuries happen when you're playing competitively. Injuries don't happen when you're screwing around. Injuries don't happen if you're not out going to the bar. Injuries don't happen if you take the game seriously and act like it's your life. This is my life. I'll die for this. I ain't gonna do that. I will not do that. That's the reason I got my third knee surgery, was to be ready for this game. I think that's a testament to what he values on his team, going out instead of playing in the Turkey Bowl. One time a year. You can go out 364 days in a year. The Turkey Bowl happens one day and you want to do that. I think that speaks volumes.
I do want to clarify, I was walking down some stairs.
Where were you at? Where'd you go? Where were you?
Wade's house.
Oh, okay.
Where'd you go to after?
Max Pizza Shop.
And Bar and Grill. Let me make that clear. If you guys ever needed a science-based public relations firm that helps clients in agriculture, rural health, and communities, where would you guys look? Where's the best place to help these needs?
Yeah, me and the other captain obviously have disagreed a lot. We both know it's Shiftology Communication. You know, as we see they're behind us, they sponsor us. We don't let anybody sponsor the Turkey Bowl. We don't just let anybody in. This is like the invite said when they were sent out. This is a very specific group. This is a very specific people. We only take the top of the top for the Turkey Bowl, and that's what they are. They're the top.
Yeah, Shiftology is very aware of the investment they're making with the Turkey Bowl, and we'd just like to thank them for making all this possible.
Well, that's all for our Turkey Bowl press conference. Any final thoughts from the two captains here?
The Mayflowers are going to wish they never got off the boat on Black Friday.
Yeah, well, this cornball over there, all I got to say is hashtag set sail, brother.
Can't stuff us.
Nobody wants to stuff you. That's all we got.
All right. I don't know how to close this thing down, so Tad's going to come over here and close this thing down. The draft is taking place Friday at
7:30.
The draft, you will see the draft picks via social media. Please, everyone, follow us at Turkey Bowl on Instagram. And have a pretty good rest of your day.